Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to Full Incense. So you can't have a YouTube gaming channel without having Minecraft, so I decided I would show you guys my PlayStation Minecraft world. But I didn't want to do it alone because I certainly did build it alone, so today we're joined by my wife, CyannSentry.
Hey guys.
So she's going to be walking around, and as we explain, this is probably the biggest build we have in this world, and it's not really a replica. It's all just based off of, partly based off of Batman the Animated Series, but mostly just made up of the Gotham City Police Department police station. The facade is sort of, in some ways, based off Arkham City, how it looked. It didn't have the big logo, but that was just, for us. So the way we play is we play on survival, but on peaceful. So that way we have to find all this stuff, the glowstone and all the rest. We found ourselves, like we had to harvest it or whatever, mine it, but we're not going to have monsters come and destroy all the stuff we worked on. So we think it's a pretty good middle ground.
So this is our little entryway with the welcome desk and all that sort of thing.
So this first floor is the cells, and even though typically they would be in Arkham, all the the rogues gallery of villains are here. So this is Joker's cell first. So we see he's made a grand escape, and it's already burning away the wool. We just fixed that before recording, and it already burned away part of the A again.
And this is Mr. Freeze's cell, and typically it'll be snowing here, and that makes a little nice effect. But he's got his books and ice and snow.
That's why we have it open all the way, so that it can just snow right in. And it was really weird when we first loaded this, it was raining in the snow biome, which I guess that's something new. I had never really seen it do that before. So for all the cells, that's the month and year that the character was introduced in the comics for the prisoner number.
So, 3 guesses who this is. Of course, Poison Ivy's got all her plants growing around.
This was one of the cool ones to build. Cyan just kind of planted them, and then a lot of this was just naturally how they grew, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some things obviously can't grow without other things. Like that's been sprouts for months.
Mm-hmm. Like real world months. We haven't really played this in quite a while. So this is Killer Croc. He just has his little swamp. Lily pads and stuff. There's not really a lot to do with him, and you'd be surprised. A lot of the villains, like Black Mask, is just like a gangster, so he doesn't really have something that could make him, especially for as crazy and esoteric as the Rogues Gallery of villains is. There's not really too many of them you can do a lot with. So this is Basil Carlo, aka Clayface. So we just put as many different kinds. And again, this is several updates ago, so I'm sure we could have done this more varied than it ended up being, but with just lots of different mud and stuff. And his backstory was that he was a movie star. The name Basil Carlo is a reference to Boris Karloff. So those the paintings on the wall were meant to be like movie posters of his.
And here's Edward Nygma, the Riddler. And we have a series of redstone devices hooked up everywhere. And a question mark, of course.
And the redstone doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of to look the part. I guess it's just to fool Batman one more time. He wastes his time investigating. Just nonsense. So the other half of this first floor is the rest of the cells, the other cell block. This one Cyan did completely by herself. It's one of my favorites.
It was Jervis Tetch, the Mad Hatter. He's got his little tea party going on the ceiling, crazy stairs, mushrooms. That's about all there is to that.
The Mad Hatter is really, not a very well-known Batman villain, but in the Arkham games especially, he was really compelling. I really liked his stuff. That was the best part of Arkham Origins, and his little side story in the last big DLC, the Season of Infamy, I think it's called, for Arkham Knight, was one of the best parts. So here we have Kurt Langstrom, Man-Bat. So he just has a nice little cave. It is weird that, like, I mean, why would they design the prison so that the prisoners would be, like, at their most, you know, comfortable and secure? But, you know, whatever. I guess they just made it themselves. They're there that often. They did some interior decorating.
And this is Penguin's cell. We usually have a chicken in here to go for his aviary tastes, but
it flew the coop.
Yeah.
Ha! So since he likes the finer things, we have you know, some valuable artwork that I'm sure he acquired through legitimate means. And right across the way, so of course Harley Quinn debuted in the animated series. She was not created by the comic book. She was later added to the comic books and became a super popular character, but it was all from Paul Dini and Bruce Timm that the character was created in the first place. But as cool as she is, we couldn't really think of a lot to do for her room, so it's one of the most simple, unfortunately.
I like to think she's just way too busy spending time thinking about Joker to actually worry about the decorations.
Mm-hmm. So this one is my favorite, and no surprises, he's one of my very favorite Batman villains. This is Two-Face, of course. So we have, you know, the burning furnace on one side, and then just the books on the other, and just everything as opposite as we could make it. I'm really proud of this one. This is definitely my favorite of the little cells. I like the redstone torch and the regular torch just to kind of finish it off as a little detail. Oh, this is another good one. So this is for Scarecrow. So we have, you know, more books than anybody else because he's the grand professor. And I wanted the idea of, like, scribbling on the walls or like a chalkboard or something. So we use the item frames, which are my favorite block in all of Minecraft, are item frames. I think they're really, really interesting, the different things you can do with them. So this is meant to be, like, the formula for a scare toxin. So you see, like, empty bottle and then add those 3 different things and just wait. The clock is meant to represent, you know, waiting a certain amount of time, and then we have the finished product. And the jack-o'-lantern, which in regular Minecraft, where I should say on the PS4, where you can't, you know, just spawn, you know, heads or whatever, there's not a whole lot you can do much creepier than the jack-o'-lantern.
So then we go upstairs, and we have where all the magic happens at the GCPD. Here's the offices for the different detectives. And we have the desk and their certificate and a file cabinet. And we did, I don't know how many of these, but they're, yeah, I guess 3 on each side, all the way down.
And it was just to match the size of the bottom. Like, we didn't have a specific number in mind. And they're all identical, like mirror images, just flip-flopped from each other as far as I can remember. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of murdering cows for leather for all the item frames and all that kind of thing. Animals were definitely harmed in the making. So over here we have, like, the bullpen where, you know, they would spend their days when not in their offices. You know, just the, like, not the detectives, but just the regular police force. I'm sure a million people thought of this for file cabinets, but that's one of my favorite detail things. It's what are they called? The
stone bricks.
Stone bricks, I think, stacked up, and then the button to kind of look like the handle. And then this is the top of
aerial view of Victor Freeze's cell.
And I liked how that worked out. It was just so that it could be open to the ceiling, but it makes sense that they wanted to keep a particular eye on him with so much access to the cold and all.
So this is Gordon's office. More file cabinets and books. And he's got the fancy rug and nice lamps and bigger desk than anybody else.
And he gets his own direct view of Mr. Freeze for whatever reason he needs it.
I have a door over here. It's not.
We specifically waited until nightfall in the game so that what's on the roof would show up the best, but now it's daytime, unfortunately. And of course, on the roof of the GCPD, just right where it belongs, we have the bat signal, and at night it really shows up well, but it's not as impressive during the day. So there's a lot of iron to make this. This build was I mean, easily over months when you say. I couldn't even begin to think how many hours in-game it took gathering all the materials. And, like, a lot of it we did real planning. Like, especially the bat signal, I can specifically remember I used, like, graph paper to plot out where the blocks would go and how many I would need so that nothing was wasted.
So in the distance, you can actually see Wayne Manor right over there, and a lighthouse. And part of my track, I've got a track that goes on the PS4 version. Your Minecraft world is very finite, so I was able to make a track around the entire world and cross it both horizontal and vertically.
Which has come in huge help.
It has, but all those poor iron golems.
One thing we worked on that we'll show in a later video, we're going to go through all our other builds and a few more of this series, which I'll call Full House. One is a iron golem farm, which we found a YouTube video. If I can happen to find the video again, I'll definitely link it in the description for that particular video when we go over the iron golem farm. But honestly, it's so bastardized from the original design because we couldn't figure out what he was doing that it's like it's just as much our creation.
Trying and failing, basically. Until it finally worked enough to leave it alone.
So that's basically it for the GCPD. That's one of the biggest builds, but Wayne Manor's pretty cool. The Batcave is something special. I'm eager to show you that lighthouse. If any of you have ever played Bioshock Infinite, that should give you an idea of the inspiration for that. But that'll all have to wait for next time. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you to CyannSentry for joining us. Did you have fun? You want to do it again sometime?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment if you did, or a dislike and a comment if you didn't. Let me know how I can improve things. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and I don't know about you guys, but we are totally full.